Hello, my name is David Highland. Welcome to Project 3 of game scripting design. Now, I do apologize if for the lack of materials within this level here. I had a little bit more, but they were all imported assets and it kept on crashing my game. So I had to make some changes and take out a lot of materials here. It was originally supposed to be a factory, but well, it didn't turn out quite so well. For those of you who are wondering, I'm running a Mac, one of the latest MacBook desktops. So let's get started. So first of all, um, pretty much I want to go over a few things. One is I had to deal with pawn swapping. Now, funny thing about this pawn swap was, besides what we went over in class, right here, I had to recently made a few changes, all because every time I created the necessary steps for the pawn, it could only run through whenever the player runs inside this little trigger box. So I decided to transform it into a flip-flop, where every time the player presses Q, he unpossesses himself and then goes back into possessing him. So, for example, okay, there we go. Okay, maybe not. So, what I'm trying to do is just show you how this whole thing works here. Just try to minimize the screen here. Okay, so what I do is just I'll go press Q. Okay, so I only went over to my first player. Press Q again. Now I'm possessing the second pawn right here. Now, pressing Q again. Then I'm back to the other guy. The next thing I want to go over, and I had a little fun with this one, is the 2D screenshots. See, I recently had like a security camera installed right here. So every time the avatar or the little mesh guy came in here, all he would need to do is press P, and this would change the format of the screens here. So I recently had three, because I had three cameras set up. One's over here at the lobby, as you can see right here. The other in this room, you can't really see because I made sure this one was a little bit special. And then the third one. So let's try it. Glass open. So press P. It works. Press P again. Oh. Okay, so recently stopped working. I don't know why. Let's see. Honestly, it was working before, but you know what? That's the thing. It just does and doesn't want to like listen to me at times. Well, I did clarify that it worked before, but I guess it's giving me a little problems here. So let's just let's just move on. Please excuse me. I had to take care of the dogs here. So, where were we? Yes. So let's move on to at least this part of the screen render. What I did was a mirror effect. So first, get this guy over here. The only way the guy's gonna like access through here is if he walks inside the little box collider I had. So now this door's open. And through like checkpoints. I recently had art assets set up here, but it didn't really want to listen to me. Okay, so you can always see here that I created a sort of mirror effect, so the guy is like looking at himself. But really, it's just looking through a camera. Oh, one other thing. I also installed a little flip-flop sequencer, so every time the player runs inside this little box trigger over here, it flashes the light on and off different segments. So this side is bright, and that side is dark. If I walk through here again, that side is bright, and this side is dark. Okay, so you can already see here that the player can't see me, however, I can see him. Like I said, the little mirror effect. Well, I can't say mirror effect since I don't think players would have the right minds like staring ourselves very closely. Okay, so on to the next one. I recently installed a little gate node here. I'll show this over, but until then, what I'm going to do is press 1 to open it, and then press E and switch over. Now I had this thing open. I'm just going to run through the whole stage. This is also another flip-flop node, only with the player matinee. You can see I had like a little wall, invisible wall here set up, so whenever the player gets close to it, it'll start initiating the matinee. And if the player decides to leave, like I said, I had a lot more art assets here, but the game kept on crashing so much, so I couldn't do anything at all other than get rid of all the equipment and stuff. So we'll stop right there. Now, I wanted to show you the gate notes and the flip-flop sequence. First of all, this is another flip-flop, so whenever this avatar enters through there, that light would like go up on the intensity of 10. So let me show you. So whenever the player overlaps the thing, it will this would only work for about 10 times before it stops. Let's go ahead and change it to 100. Save. So now every time the actor always enters inside the little trigger box here, it will activate the sequence. Flip-flop to a sequence where it could like turn off the lights or turn on the lights for different assets here. And if he enters it again, it activates the sequence once more, but in the opposite view. Now for the gate node. This one was a little bit technical because I had to assign the right button. So every time let's go ahead and try this. So every time the player would go on this thing, okay, so I'm having recent problems with my computer. So I'll just give you a little visual. So what this does is the player on this side, he's activating a little event on this thing, in which I set it up on a little matinee to open this little main door there. So you can press these buttons as many times as you want, or just press E. It's not going to work on the first time because I had it on start close, which is the O right here. So if he presses 1, it activates the little gates right there. So all he needs to do is press E. It runs through and then plays a matinee. So that's that for a gate mode. Now, I had another flip-flop right here pertaining to objects. Really simple. Change this back to 100. So, like I said earlier, there's a invisible wall in which the player will step over, and then this would activate. I had it the same way. I could get rid of this and make it like infinitive times that the player could reach it. I just want to get a better grasp of at least a number of times here. So every time the player enters through, it'll activate sequence or route 8 here, or route A, which will play the matinee. Which is like a double-sided door here. And then whenever the player goes back inside again, he reverses the whole play of the matinee here. that's about it I have to show you. There was supposed to be a lot more, but well, like I said, the stage just started bugging out on me, and as you can see down here, this was my last save file. It's not closing out or doing anything anymore, so I'm just doing the best of what I can. That's about it for my. That's about it for my project 3 for game scripting. Hope to see you guys in the next project review.